Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here on So Stood Checks. So today, I wanted to talk about my personal view of God. So I've had a lot of people act like I can't have my view of God as it is. They tell me that I'm in like a power struggle, or that I have hubris, or that I'm not physically allowed to view God as I do. But I disagree. And I don't think anyone can tell me to believe in God a different way, because I haven't, ever. And I'm not going to, unless I just stop believing, which I guess could happen. But on my worst days, I'm a agnostic, very nihilist, just very pessimistic. But on any average day, I'm polymorphic, monotheist, being that God is a singular entity, but has many forms. And the way I see it, although I use God in the most basic sense most of the time, typically I think of it as just divine. Because to me, God has no gender. God has no single name. God has no one form. God is both everywhere and nowhere. God is in everyone and everything and in nothing. Because to me, very ominous, everyone is right, but also everyone is wrong. And to me, I love all of those contradictions. I believe that every God is the same God. That it's just decided to take on as many forms as it can to appeal to people as they evolve and change in culture. Because if you think about it, why would an all-knowing being, no matter how prideful, no matter how loving, no matter how wrathful, why would an all-knowing being pick one way to exist for everyone? I'm not going to like the same things as you, and you are not going to agree with him or her or those people or them or they. Like, no. We're not going to get along on everything, and we're probably not even going to agree on the same things within our religions, even if we're in the same religion. Because realistically, people just don't. Like, to me, I have a very no one is better than me and I am better than no one kind of feeling. Now, there's some people that lose their ability to be human when they're like disgusting pervs, or when they attack people and no longer like, ew, you're a turf. Okay, you don't exist. Fuck you. You know, like, it's like you could get hit by a bus. Like, so you need to get in the reincarnation and start over because you're doing a terrible job. But then you have people that honestly think that their God is the only thing greater in the world. And to me, if we are all part of the divine is in us and not in us all at the same time. I'm not going to think that they're better than me. I'm not saying that I'm better than God or that God is better than me. I'm saying that I consider us all to be on equal playing field. Like, my dog, which is sleeping beside me, is on the same level as me. On the same level as God. I know that is stupid to think, but imagine if we are all divine, especially if you go with the belief that we are all reincarnating over and over again until we eventually get to the end. And I originally thought we all would just reincarnate until we were ready to finally move on. Once we have learned all the lessons that we learned, each life we go into a waiting room kind of for a while. And then we're reborn, we live again, and then we go back to the waiting room until it's time for the world to be over. This changed a little when I got to read The Egg by Andy Weir, which basically made it so we reincarnate until we have been, each and every one of us, until we have experienced life from every point of view. You are both the bully and the bullied. You are both you, your daughter's boyfriend, the boy who broke your daughter's heart, your daughter's best friend, your wife. You are everyone. You're the man who hits you with the car and kills you and sends you into this spiral. You are everyone. Because you are the divine. This is your world. You are the egg. And once you have experienced life through everyone, you will hatch and you will be the divinity, the divinity that you are. And you probably won't have a speech impediment when you're talking just because you put your tongue ring in. You will also probably see that all these little things don't matter. And to me, I think that's fair. Like, I think it's fair to think that this can happen. This idea that we are everyone and we are no one and we are all and we are nothing. I feel that I am on an equal playing field with God, that we can speak one-on-one. And I feel that as they've existed beside me in my life and all my life. Even when I don't want to talk to them because they piss me the fuck off. Or when we we're feeling it, like we're working. Because I don't believe in worship. Worship has never been something I've been big on. It just feels wrong. Because I don't feel worship. I don't feel that sense of idolization in that way. Like, I feel admiration. I feel adoration. But I don't worship. Just as I give my friends that I care about gifts to show that I love them, I give deities gifts. Like, oh, Aphrodite, I saw this pearl necklace and I thought of you. Or, oh, Earthly, I saw these beautiful chocolates at the store and I got them for you. I hope you love them. They have a cherry inside and they're like super expensive. Or, Yahweh, I just want to talk. I need someone to talk to. And you are who I choose today. Because sometimes the energy feels different. And on one way, it's kind of like, maybe it's because I'm ADHD and have empathic tendencies, but like the energy shifts and it doesn't feel like I'm speaking to the same aspect of God every day. Like one moment, I'll feel very like Pele. And I'll be like, you know what, to honor you, I'm going to watch Moana and Tafiti. One day I'll feel very Thor and Odin, and I might watch something ridiculous like Marvel or like some old show with the gods and just enjoy it. Maybe I'll watch something terrible, like I'll feel like watching Hercules, so I'll decide, well, I feel like I'm trying to think of a deity that was better represented in that show. Maybe Hera. She was great in Hercules. Aphrodite wasn't terrible. I liked Aphrodite, especially in the TV series. She had a little bit of a tood. That was fun. But to me, it's just there's so many associations that I make with all the deities, and it's not that I'm wishy-washy. And I've had people say, well, you can't think of God that way. Well, God doesn't work like that. Or you can't work with this pantheon and this pantheon. Or you can't talk to God in that way, but I've always talked to God in that way. It is not I'm speaking from below you. It is I am speaking to you. That I love you as you are. I don't like you all the time. I certainly don't like Yahweh. We have issues. I certainly don't like most male masculine entities. I work better with feminine entities. Sorry, it's just how it be. But I also like non-binary entities. That's fine too. Like, bro, let's switch it up. That's okay. But you don't have to like someone to love them. I have plenty of people who I'm like, I love you, but you piss me off and I really want to beat your ass like 50% of the time. Like, a good whipping with a fucking switch might fix you. We'll find out. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to just offer worship, and I don't want to just speak up to a deity, because it's like they've always been there. So I speak to God differently than I speak to my friends, differently than I speak to my family. If it's someone that has been there since the very beginning, since all time, and you know that they've seen and experienced everything with you, and they know everything that you know, especially me, because I was raised Christian Baptist. I know Protestant, for those who are Christian, you would be very Catholic, you would be very upset that my boyfriend makes the jokes about Protestant all the time. But that's why, from what shaped my views, that God is everywhere, but also nowhere, because they are not physically here. They are everything. We are all created in his image, all that he has created. So I think of everything. I'm like, okay, so there are creatures on other planets. They were created in their image because this is an all-encompassing being. This creation wants to love everyone as they are, and loves all the animals, and just kind of needs us to experience life. So, I'm so sorry. It's almost my bedtime. And so, like, to me, God is just so, like, there's so much variety. There's so much, just so much life and so much to experience. That's why you see me study Odin and then turn around and study Shiva and Kali, and turn around and study the Morgan, and then Brigitte and Ogun and Oshun, and the list goes on and on and on into Lilith and to Lucifer, to everyone. Because to me, that's all the same entity. It is all just different faces that they wear. And I love every aspect of God. I may not like all of them, but that's different. I love every aspect. And when I love someone, I do want to know about all the things that they love. We don't talk anymore, and I tried to hang out with them, but they were talking shit about me and then decided to blow me off, so I stopped trying. But, like, me and my ex were friends, or I thought, and they had an anime that they wanted me to watch, so I watched it, and I've watched it 3 times. The first time because I told them I would. The second time because I missed a couple things. The third time because I have anxiety. It was comforting and familiar. But, like, they don't even know that I watched it, because they never responded when I was trying to hang out, and, like, they were supposed to come hang out with me and my housemate, but whatever. Like, I want to know all of the parts of the people that I love. Just like I want to know all of the aspects of God. Like, La Santa Muerte is fantastic. And they even talk about the different aspects of the deity. You can call on them with the different colors of, like, statue. The different candle colors. Different aspects of that deity. Which helps me find the language I need to express that I love all aspects of God. Don't like every aspect. And I have a problem, and I feel it's okay to call out and be like, hey, I don't like this. If this aspect of you wants to have a relationship with me, we have to work with this because I am not okay. And I feel comfortable speaking to God in that fashion because I feel they are the one and only creation ever, because they are the only thing in existence that will ever truly understand me. And that I feel like it's escaping. Like, they're the only one that I can be that forward with, because they know me better than I know me. And I push to know them better, too. As, like, I guess in honor of them knowing me so well. So for me, my relationship with God is different than a lot of people, than most people. And everyone's relationship is going to be different. Because we all have a different view of God. And this kind of personal gnosis about God is what makes speaking about religion so hard. Because talking about religion means that you have to be prepared for someone to tell you that your foundational beliefs about God and spirit and your existence are wrong. And people aren't okay with arguing about their foundation. And people also aren't okay with saying, well, I'm okay with you living with yours and I live with mine. No, if you don't believe me, then you're the problem. And that's the issue with fighting someone's personal gnosis and their belief of God, which is probably why it's taboo to talk about religion in like public, because you're fighting someone's very essence, the thing that makes them believe the way that they do and act the way that they do. Personally, I want to love God in the way that you do. I want to love God in the way that we all see them. I'm not going to love everything that I see, but I want to see what you see. I want to understand the way you do. That's why you see me study so many varieties, because I'm just interested in every piece that I can soak up like a sponge. So how do you view God? Do you follow one pantheon? Do you believe in the existence of other pantheons? Now, of course, I don't know how this all works, and I think it's okay to say that I have no fucking clue. Yes, I am polymorphic, monotheist, and I think that God is one entity. How does that work when Zeus and Hera are married? How does that work when Poseidon fucks up and causes issues of the ultimate variety for Medusa that Athena has to work with? I don't know. Like, I tell a lot of people that my view of God implies that God has dissociative identity disorder, and that the essence that we use to call a specific deity is their trigger. Like the incense that we use for Hecate versus the incense you would use for Persephone. The colors we use are their trigger to invoke the specific deity. Yeah, that's kind of messed up, but that's kind of how I picture how I talk to who I'm trying to talk to. Like, what face of you am I loving today? Can I speak to this face? Oh no? Okay, cool, I did not do this correctly. But that's how I view it. It's wild, and I don't know how it all works, but I don't think we're supposed to know how everything works. Like, you can explain things, but that doesn't mean we all will get it, and we'll never all understand in the same way. And I think that's okay. That's another reason why I upload my outtakes, because I will be uploading the outtake for this video that I recorded fucking never ago. Because I fucked up. My words got all mixed up, and I kept saying, I couldn't remember the word for Pele. I'm so sorry, Pele. I love Pele. She's like wonderful, and like, I forgot the word. Because words are hard. But that's why I upload my outtakes. Because we all don't know everything. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And that's okay. And I think it's fair to show that we're not perfect, and that we all make mistakes, and that we don't know what's going on in our craft, or we don't know why we believe what we believe, but we believe it. I can't explain to you why I think of God as much as I do. I can try, and I have. That doesn't mean you'll understand, and that's okay. Just know that I'm different than you, and you're different than me, and that's fine. So, if you have an interesting view of God or the afterlife, because I've told my like waiting room, and you just gotta get in line. I'm gonna be a snail next time, like snail vibes. Please put it below. Open up. Tell us your truths. Tell us the way you interact with the divine. If you're atheist, that's fine too. I can't, like, even on my lowest, I can't conceive of being in disbelief of God. I'm sure it could happen. It could happen to anyone. But to me, I believe in so much of God that I can't believe in one. I believe in all, because it is all true. It's all correct. So please, let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you believe? I hope you have a wicked evening, and I'll see you next time here on So Stitch X.